Mate, we cover it all this weekend.
It's all well covered. Definitely. That's what we do. We're thorough. Everything that you could possibly hope for in a podcast with regards to horse racing, very specifically in Australia, is right here.
Well, if you want to go even more specific than that, we've got Moonee Valley. We have Randwick. And we cover extensively the first race at Doomben.
We do. It's just some stars in the making in that race. Certainly not well exposed horses, that's for sure. Yeah, look, all jokes aside, we've got 2 horses racing in Doomben this weekend. So, find out more. And
one of them, you won't believe, you'll have to wait and listen, but you will not believe the subsequent winners out of his races. Absolutely. Nearly fell off my chair when I read that out.
The hottest form in the Sunshine State, without a doubt.
Yeah. But if you're going to have a little bit of a dabble on those races, where would you do something like that?
Oh, with the good people at Ned's, that's for sure. Thanks again. Another spring with the good people at Ned's. Appreciate your support. You can do everything that you want with them. You can go weird and exotic, which is how we're going to be playing some races this weekend. You can also look at the profiles on Ned's. We've got ours. We share our tips up on there. You can follow us and, comment on them. We'll get your thoughts. We're open to criticism, as always.
Yeah, well said.
Let's go.
But what are you really gambling with? For free and confidential support, visit gamblinghelponline.org.au.
I need to ask you a question. Be curious, Drifters.
Mr. Brightside spins the box and wins again. Zardozy wins the Oaks for Jmac. The photo finish. Mr. Brightside or Romantic Warrior. The mare's going. Great guns. Fangirl. Look at her go. Fangirl. Imperatrice has got her. And raced on by Imperatrice by a length.
Overpass. More Baker's Delight in Perth.
Radina just won it, I'd say. Tom Ketton won the spring champion in a cakewalk. Without a fight, won the Caulfield Cup.
Mate, we've done it. 2 horses that we own the only 2 horses that we own in the same race. We've had 2 on the same day, but not in the same race.
It feels good. It feels good. It feels well deserved. It feels hard earned.
Mm-hmm.
It's the minimum we deserve.
I would have thought so.
Saturday grade,
kicking off the day with a bang.
Yep.
In the UNU recruitment benchmark 70 at Doomben. Race 1. The second at Portsea, number 6. $11 they put up. To be fair, she was pretty dog shit last start.
She probably the worst she's run ever.
But in saying that, she was on the quick backup. Shifty ground. It just wasn't her day.
No.
Counter, on the other hand, he's always been genuine. He just he doesn't know where the winning post is a lot of the time.
Yeah, I think there's just a lot of pieces in the jigsaw that is Counter.
Yeah.
And it takes, a special occasion for all of those pieces to come together quickly enough for him to win the race.
Yeah.
I think for him, the freshen up, fantastic. I think a good deck, fantastic. I think the distance, that's fine for him, 2,000 metres. Concern for me is the gate for Counter. Where does he get to?
Hey, he has all-star jock on board, Jimmy Orman.
Jimmy Orman, he does.
Like the king of, the number 1 ticket in Brisbane.
Yeah. Gate 15 of 16 Counter has drawn. Spitfire has been scratched. He had gate 14. So he'll be jumping out of gate 14 now.
Love that.
Which we love.
Everything helps, mate.
Yeah.
I've just done a quick look since he's been in Queensland. There have been 22 subsequent winners from his races.
Has there really?
In 5 runs. 6 runs. That is unbelievable.
Yeah, but they all beat up on each other.
Exactly.
They just take
exactly.
turns.
But it's the only class, so they kind of have to go around. But
Yeah.
that one where he absolutely demolished him, where it was $1.65 favourite. There's been 5 winners since then.
Has there really?
In that race, yeah.
That's a form race if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, and he's been one of them. But yeah, I was actually surprised by that. I've just kept going. 22 subsequent winners. Unbelievable.
He just keeps raising the bar for this particular grade in Brisbane. And he comes up favourite again with the good people at Neds. Honestly.
Unbelievable.
Give us double figures for this horse, please.
$4.20. Second of Portsea is $11. So we'll be having something on a Ned Same Race multi and a Quinella.
Absolutely.
You'll be checking our profiles for that.
Absolutely.
Should we hear from the doctor's mouth, the trainer's mouth?
Yeah, let's do it.
With Jack Bruce about the second of Portsea?
Yeah, definitely.
Let's do it, hey? So, what's the great man have
Good
to...
morning, team. The second at Portsea has accepted to race on Saturday at Doomben. She's drawn barrier 9 in a field of 16 with Justin Huxtable booked to ride. So I will also accept on Sunday at the Sunshine Coast. There's a smallish field there in an 1,800-metre race, which may also suit, but it is for significantly less prize money.
How significant, you ask? It's a good question.
It is a good question, JB.
So if she's to go around on Sunday in the benchmark 68, where she will be favourite in that race.
Yeah.
She will be. They're racing for 28 grand. So she would win 15.5. Whereas if she was to run second to counter on the weekend, she'd win more money in 16.5. So
Okay.
I'd say she'll be sticking to Doomben.
Yeah, okay.
Easier, but for less prize money. So this looks at this stage the main option. I would just have a look at how this race maps compared to the other one, and we'll see if we're on a smaller field, it might be advantageous to go to the sunny coast, but the rail is out a long way there, and we have a nice I think it's a 1 metre rail at Doomben. So we do have quite a fair Doomben there on Saturday. From barrier 9, we're probably realistically going to find ourselves in the second half of the field, but up to 2,000 metres is going to suit her. That's what we've been waiting to get to this preparation, and we've been able to lay a good foundation of 2 runs or 3 runs at the mile now, which really helps us build that stamina at the end of the 2,000 metres. So looking forward to the weekend. At this stage, I'm probably favouring the Doomben option, and I'll keep you posted tomorrow when those acceptances are out up there.
Thanks, Jack.
Thanks, Jack.
But yeah, I reckon she'll be going around on Saturday. I bloody hope so.
I bloody hope so. 'Cause she's a backable price. Unlike her naughty adopted cousin, Kiana. It's always such a short price. For a horse that's only run twice, I just can't understand it.
I don't understand it either.
But Godspeed to the both of them. Mm-hmm. Could be the Quinella to end all Quinellas.
Yeah. And our wallets could be a lot fuller and a lot heavier at the end of the day, or a lot lighter. Mm-hmm. And I'm hoping it is the former. So, this weekend's racing, what are your thoughts, mate? Moonee Valley, Randwick.
Looks good.
Yeah.
Looks good, yeah.
I'm optimistic about this weekend.
Yeah, I am too. The Valley was a happy hunting ground a couple of weeks ago. Yep. We'll have to wait and see what happens.
Yeah. Well, should we get to the Moir Stakes?
Let's do it.
Well, let's have a look before we get into what you think. We should actually have a look at what the drifters reckon, because there is a lot of opinions flying around here.
I love that.
So, who's going to win the Moir Stakes according to the drifters? Benny Carroll, Johnny Rocker. Johnny was going around in some of these sprints.
Ran second to a very good pony by the name of Imperatriz pretty recently at the Valley.
Marcus Williams, good to have you back, mate. You've been a bit quiet. We need an amenable update.
We do.
Lady of Camelot will be tough to beat in this. Nick Scala, Camelot couldn't have drawn any better. Will Finlay, Estriella, Hamish Townsend, Chad's cousin, Estriella, Cooper both. Sounds like Lady of Camelot should, but I think I Wish I Win could easily run over the top. And then Big Red, I Wish I Win.
Big Red, recruiter. They're the drifters.
Yeah.
They're all talking about the same sort of horses there.
Do you think it's between those three? The market would suggest so.
The market would suggest so. I don't think so. I think this is a very tricky race.
Interesting.
I think this is a very tricky race. I'm not saying that my top selection is sitting outside of the ones that they mentioned, but I just don't think it's super straightforward.
Some smart 3-year-olds here.
There is, yeah, there is. Okay. If you're looking at that Golden Slipper and you're thinking to yourself, that was elite, and this crop of 3-year-olds who featured in those 2-year-old features are going to, measure up at weight for age against the older proven sprinters. Mm. If that's what you're thinking, then yeah, okay, cool. Coleman, Lady of Camelot, Hyasugi, who failed in the slipper, but excuses.
Hey, she beat home the slipper winner in the Diamond.
Did. So if you like that form,
who am I to judge?
Then exactly, and you're diving right in. I think that it's questionable. Every year, and I've gotten this wrong myself, Drifters. So if you're diving into slipper winners and all that sort of stuff, and, I've made this mistake of thinking they're just going to come out and continue on with it, but sometimes it just doesn't happen. Sometimes it doesn't, and that's probably influenced my thinking because I've been better before. But I couldn't talk you out of Lady of Camelot.
Mm. She's a speedy filly, isn't
Speedy filly, draws a gate, the right stable. She'll be fit. She'll be wound up.
Mm.
Gives me Coolangatta vibes.
Yeah. What have you thought about her trials? Because I thought they've been dross.
They have been, particularly for a Waterhouse bot pony. They typically trial pretty well from memory.
Yeah. You know what it is to me?
What?
I reckon she's a good tracker. I don't think she handles any wet ground at all.
Mm.
So she's been on soft 7 and heavy 8, and that's probably me just wanting that to be the case. And to be fair, though, she's been up at, like, you look at the horses that are actually running in those trials, like, they're decent. Like, she's trialing against the likes of Giga Kick. She's still knocking him off, but she's been hard ridden in those. 50 kilos for her too.
Yeah, it's light.
Can't hurt.
Zachy Lloyd, he can get real low.
He can get very low.
He can get so low. Yeah, are you team 3-year-olds or are you team not 3-year-olds?
I'm team 3-year-old Kendrick Lamar swimming pool style. Let me dive right in. I think Lady of Camelot is a cracking bet in this race.
Yeah, sets up really well for it, doesn't it?
I think I'm putting a line through that Percy Sykes race. I think it was just kind of end of prep for her. She'd already done it all.
She had.
And she'd had a pretty taxing campaign to that point as well, going to Melbourne and what have you. But one of her best runs of the prep was first up at Rose Hill. She absolutely smashed up on Manal there. I think she's just going to absolutely fly the gates and go catch me if you can.
Mm.
And the 3-year-olds, the early season 3-year-olds, which this race would basically garner to each year, has a very good record.
They do. Yeah, they do.
She will reign Coolangatta in Extreme Choice.
Pretty recently.
Within the last 10 years or so.
Yeah, yeah. Look, I think I couldn't talk you out of Lady of Camelot. The market's loved her thus far. She was in futures like a week ago. I don't know, like single figures, but not $3.50 single figures, which she currently is with the good people at Ned's. Yeah, it's just God.
Oh, no.
Oh, my God. It just sets up so well for her, this race. Well, what are your thoughts then on Hyasugi, who's beaten her home, and Coleman, who nearly beat her in the slipper?
Hyasugi is an enormous price.
Big price.
I think she's the one I'm more interested in. I'm not sure about Coleman, because if I'm looking at the trials, and sometimes I read too much into the trials, but his trials have been dog shit, like really bad. Like, I don't want to be anywhere near him. Hyasugi, you can only go off like what you hear and what you see. Jamie Carr reckons she's matured a lot.
She's ready matured.
So you can obviously take that on advisement, and if I'm liking Lady of Camelot, I have to like her. She beat her home in the Blue Diamond, and that was a pretty tough run too. So, yeah, they're the two I'm probably going to be playing around in my Quinella. Well, I Wish I Win we haven't really talked about.
No, and there's something really significant about I Wish I Win. Blinkers off, nose roll back on. So
interesting.
Kat Coleman lost this battle.
Yeah, she did.
Because she's nose roll off gang. I think Mood's like, nah. Nose roll's going back on.
Does Chain of Lightning have the nose roll on? She doesn't take it off, does she? Yeah, she'll have it on.
Yeah, she'll have it on for sure. I Wish I Win. Yeah, he can win this without a doubt. Without a doubt.
1,000 metres.
Yeah.
First up.
That's the thing. And I think he's got the Everest slot. So you know when Bro's going to be peaking, it's going to be in that race because he can definitely win that. But wouldn't be surprised if he just on class alone sits forward to midfield from that gate and can just run over the top of him. The old boy just flexes his muscles.
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised either. And we saw him sit a bit closer in some of his first up runs prior as well. So I wouldn't be surprised, but I'm kind of happy to let him go to through the keeper.
Yeah.
Bigger fish to fry.
Yeah, I think so. I'm with Estriella. I think if there was someone who's going to challenge Lady of Camelot up front, it would be Estriella. Look, I think even though she's drawn a little bit sticky, she's got the gate speed to jump out and probably sit just behind Lady of Camelot, or maybe eyeball her, or maybe even Blake Shin will take the lead. And Blake Shin's a key reason as to why I am keen on her. So he rode a last prep in every race except for the Sangster, where clearly it was an end of prep run for her and probably came a bit too soon.
Market loved her.
Market loved her, yeah. Kieran Maher talking about this thing, he's in love with her. You can tell he can give a spruik to a horse, that's for sure. But at the same time, like I think she's here ready to rock and roll because he wants an Everest slot for her, and it's part of the marketing campaign, right? Because that's what the trainer's got to do. They want their horse in the Everest, but they've also probably got to put the writing on the wall,
absolutely,
and win a race. 1,000 meters she hasn't ran it before.
I love it for her.
I think it's right up her alley. I think she just goes hell for leather. And, maybe she just gets past Lady of Camelot, or maybe Lady of Camelot can't get past her. I'm not sure. If she has to do too much work early, then probably tear up your ticket.
Yeah. And
but I'm prepared to take that risk, and I thought she'd drift in the market too.
56.5 kilos for a early season 4-year-old mare who, to me, hasn't proven it yet at the top level. Like, her wins have been visually very impressive, but she's beating the likes of Arkansas Kid, Roderick, Cabolas, who's in this race. So I'm team need to see it from Estriella.
Yep.
And there is one thing for certain for me. There is no way this horse is getting an Everest slot. Zero.
Estriella.
Not at 1,200 metres. I think she is a really talented 1,000, 1,100 metre horse.
Yeah.
But as we kind of look through in the trying to find those races, like there's not a lot of options for at this level.
Yeah,
throughout the spring.
For the Asfura types.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. That's why I think she'll be pretty wound up here.
Yeah.
I think Kieran Maher's, he doesn't get it wrong very often. If he's targeting a horse at a race first up, he's going to do it with some intent. And I'm a fan of hers, I backed her every start last prep except for a Sangster run. So, I'm prepared to give her a go here. I admit, Lady of Camelot's the one to beat for me, clearly. I'd like to see Hayasugi or Coleman run well and win, or just run really well because add them to the ranks.
Yeah. Am I crazy for thinking Mornington Glory could win this race?
I think you can. I can. If you won for exotics, has to go in
like a pinstripe type of operation.
Yeah, definitely. What's he, fourth up here, third up here?
Yeah, fourth up. Look at his Moonee Valley stats at the distance too.
Oh, he ran super last start.
Outstanding.
The Victorian Victim was on him, and he was very pleased.
Yeah.
He lurched to get there. He's drawn gate 1. Maybe he'll sit a bit closer. And it wouldn't shock. Ethan Brown's been riding really well.
I thought he wouldn't be the worst roughie in this race.
Absolutely not.
So yeah, interesting race. I've got Lady of Camelot on top, Hayasugi in for second, and then I've got I Wish I Win and Mornington Glory rounding out my top 4.
Estriella, Lady of Camelot, I Wish I Win, and Coleman for me.
Okay. Let's go to the Chautauqua Stakes at Moonee Valley.
He's flying! Yes!
Well, it's funny that of all the tracks to get a race named after Chautauqua, it's the one where his racing career officially ended, where he just stood in the gates.
Oh, sad. But it's funny.
What an enigmatic horse.
Very enigmatic.
Chautauqua Stakes, 1,200 metres listed. You have the likes of Savannah Cloud, Arkansas Kid, and Snapper here. Snapper's one of mine. He'll go forward, probably be leading this field, but don't know if there's been a bit of an issue with the old fish because he hasn't raced since January this year. Does Arkansas Kid just beat up on these?
Don't know if he beats up on him, but he's $2 favourite, and it's a play I'm happy to have. Put it that way. So he was gelded, terrific return, take improvement out of that. Scratch last week, save for this. Get some weight relief as well. He's only got an extra, half a kilo on top of Who Dares, who's been racing super but been up for a long time. And I think the Valley suits 1 from 1. Right sort of horse, right gate. Yeah, Luke Curry's riding well. It's a play for me.
Yeah, I thought
Just reel him in.
I thought Savannah Cloud's awfully honest.
He is. Sorry,
always do it.
That's a mare. Yeah. Very honest.
Very honest. First up, stats are fantastic. Has run very well at the Valley before. I thought he is just going to be one of those on-speed horses that are going to be awfully tough to get past. And his jump outs, not trial, jump outs, fucking racing Victoria, honestly, have been very good.
Mm-hmm.
Just call a trial, I say.
I've got some issues down there.
The Atlantic Jewel Stakes is race 6, 1,200 metres, a listed race. A few dual acceptors here, including Amina, Silmarillion, and potentially Zoe Tung, Licky Tung. Amina's definitely the one to beat if she's heading here, but I don't know if she is.
Yeah, I don't know if she is, so it's a wait-and-see race. But yeah, she'd be mine top selection.
Yeah, Immortal Star's the one that Photograph just missed at the Valley a couple of weeks ago, so she'll be the one, Blake Shin on again, that will be the one to get past, I'd imagine.
Yep. One at odds is in some recognisable silks, number 8, Sassy Jenny. Last start, this is back in March, by the way, Drifters, ran third to 2 horses, one called Growing Empire, one called Bitter Creek. They're pretty good. So, she's $15 for the good people in there's drawing a gate. If the market comes for her, it could be Tony, or it could be the market liking her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Race 7 is the Mckenzie Stakes, 1,200 metre listers for the Colts and Gelding, set weights, penalties. The initial nominations versus the acceptances in this race are vastly different. So, Angel Capital, fascinating runner here.
Fascinating runner. I have to see it. I have to see it from him. Clinton McDonald's got an enormous opinion of this horse. I backed him in his first run up in Doomben in preparation for the JJ, where he ran 5th. And the horse that won that race, what I was just talking about, was Bitter Creek. So, yeah, I have to see from him. Happy to take him on. The 2 at the top, Epi Meals and Public Attention, both unbeaten colts, both look to have a good amount of ability heading towards a Caulfield Guineas. Public Attention trialled really well. Had a jump out and won. You know what I mean. And he's a striking grey horse in the Coolmore Silks. You don't really see a lot of Coolmore horses with that stable, do you?
Well, I was just thinking that. I'm trying to think of the last one. One didn't really come to mind.
Yeah. And then Epi Meals, 2 from 2. Both really good wins. 1,300 and 1,400 metres, though. This is his first time at 12.
Yeah. He's
a done deal, so maybe this is going to be a bit of a tune-up run for him, but not a betting race at this stage for me, but I do have an eye on both those horses heading towards a Caulfield Guineas. That have to beat a smart one who we think could run in that race, win it, and then go to the Cox Plate potentially. But 2 to watch.
Did the done deals run a Derby distance?
Potentially, yeah. So Done Deal himself, won up to 2,400 metres or 25 even maybe. So I'd imagine so. I'm trying to think of a more recent done deal who's won a Derby. I don't know if he has had one who's won a Derby, but obviously Castelvecchio won a Spring Champion Stakes. Militarize, gave every indication that 2,000 metres was fine. So yeah,
so maybe 2,000. Okay. Interesting. Potentially this horse is a spring champion type of horse.
Yeah, potentially, yeah.
So, yeah, kind of want to see him as well. He's the one that really interests me. And I was looking through the Anzac Day Stakes winners of like, have any of these like gone on to win a derby or feature in one? Not for in recent years. Like, it's pretty dross winners from that race. But like probably the most notable, same silks, was Merchant Navy, who actually won the Anzac Day Stakes. So
that's interesting.
Yeah, won a Coolmore.
And look, I was doing a little bit of research today. Poor Johnny Allen. He's not in great form. Uh-oh. So I don't think he's had a winner in his last like 30-something rides.
Sheesh.
He's had 2 Metro winners this season so far. So in a little bit of a dry spell, Johnny. But we know he's a good jock. But if you want to take a set against either one of Epi Meals or Public Attention, maybe you can just look at the jock.
Okay. All right. The So You Think Stakes. I think the inaugural running of the So You Think Stakes, 1,500 metres for open Sadways penalties. Let me get that out. Oh, he was very good. 10 Group 1s. 2 Cox plates. So it makes sense for him to have a race here.
It does. Group 1s overseas as well at the middle distance. So
5 here, 5 overseas.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's good. That's very good. All right. Pericles. I'm fascinated. I'm surely this horse is heading towards an Epsom. Surely.
Yeah, you would imagine so. Bit of a weird race last race. Like he sort of went in, he went out, loomed up, didn't.
He's a bit of a Goldilocks Pericles.
He is Pericles. He's a funny horse, Pericles.
Yeah.
He's a funny horse. I like him, as you know.
Because when the market hates him, he runs out of his skin.
I know.
It's like he's got one eye. I was like, am I $2 today?
Yeah.
Okay, well,
absolutely.
I might as well blame myself.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a tough favourite to back. And $2.30 is pretty short for him. But we saw out of that race, like, so Gentleman Roy was what, 3rd or 4th up in that race, and he was going super. Pinstriped, nearly ran him down. He's obviously come out and peaked in a Mckenzie and won that. He's Group 1 winner now. So it's good form, particularly for a race like this. So, Immediacy probably wants further. Our guy Miramasa wants further. Rolls is going to be out and leading, and he ran super last start, the old fella. So, there's going to be some genuine pace. Attrition, I don't know where that horse is at.
Whenever you see a trainer come out and is like, he needs something for his confidence, I'm happy to just let it happen until that happens.
Big Buff is in this race as well. Jmac. So these are all exposed horses, and Pericles is to an extent, but he's the one where it sets up the best for him. You know what I mean? Like,
well, mate,
if we're talking about Epsom's for him, he's got to win this.
So 19 career starts, 8 of them at Group 1 level, and 5 more at Group 2 level, and he's won 2 Group 2s and placed in another 2 as well. So it's like he has been racing in the absolute elite races that he can for an early season 5-year-old gelding. Blake Shin on. I cannot see this horse running like outside the top 2. I really can't. Like, he's so far back in grade here.
Yep.
He has to win this.
He has to, yeah. He has to. But an interesting little race. I think we know Immediacy and Miramasa both have talent, and they could go on to win better races than this in the spring, but happy to take them on first up.
Unfortunately, I'm worried for my boy Miramasa. I don't know where he's at. Yeah, I think before he had a super spring last year, he was trialling out of his skin. His trials have been dog shit.
Dross.
Really bad. And he had a pretty average autumn as well. So not sure where he's at. Maybe it's all been because he's already in the Caulfield Cup, winning the Mornington Cup, I believe. Or he has a start. Maybe he got a start. Maybe he got a start in the Melbourne Cup. Can't remember. He has a start in one of them, and maybe they're just gearing up for that. But yeah, we'll see. That's all she wrote it. Morning Mooney Valley, unless you had any other notes.
No, not at this stage.
Love it. All right. What we did fail to mention is the Valley will be railing the True There is a little bit of rain on the Friday, I think up to 5 mil or so. I'm thinking it will be a soft 6 or a genuine good 4. So I think it will be fine. Now, Randwick, rails out 6 metres. Beautiful weather come Saturday, though. So it will be a good 4, possibly even a good 3 by the time we run race 1. Now, the Sydney City Lexus City Cup, 2,400 metres listed race 4. There is a horse at the top of this field that I think has to go awfully close to be winning this. He has form around the right, likes a Pile Driver and West Wind Blows from this year, only a few months ago. And he's out to 2,400 metres. He should be winning this.
He should be. Clearly got the class edge.
Changing of the guard.
Yes. Should have mentioned his name. Jmac on. 1,800 metres resuming. He needs further than that, so don't worry about that. I think number 6, Strathtay, is a smart little stayer. Ran really well last start in the Gold Coast Turf Club Trophy benchmark 78 at Randwick. With 60 kilos on his back and came from the back of the field and put into the sort. I think dry deck's good for him, 53 kilos. Like, he's got 53 kilos in this race for a reason because, you know, of his rating. I think he's a smart little horse. $2.45. That's my opinion.
There's a few like that this weekend.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah. So you're going to have to pick him. You're going to have to pick the eyes out of him to make a profit, I think.
Do you know what could happen in this race? The other Waller horse, Canberra Legend, just jump out of the ground. You know what I mean? Like $11. Like, that could just, you know.
12 months, 7 stars, no runs in the top 3. You can have him.
Yeah, but you know what I mean?
I know what you mean, though.
Yeah.
I absolutely do. Redstone Well is the other one I was looking at. He was scratched at the gates when Elias won. And the market loved him. He was the horse they were coming for when Elias was drifting, but just meant we got a bigger price.
This is actually looking at this market. And the Moir is pretty similar. Like, with all due respect to did you see my post on the weekend? The good people at Ned's, and anyway, acronyms. With all due respect to them. These markets are disgusting. And the Moir is similar. So you've got a $2.45 favourite next in the market, $3.60 next in the market, $4.60. So you've got 3 horses under $5. Okay. Mm-hmm. And then you've got 2 at 11, 1 at 14, 1 at 15, and then the one outlier at 50s. Like,
and to be honest, Raging Bull is not the worst.
It's not the worst, but okay, so I'm going to back the favourite. It's like, which one? Mm-hmm. And the Moir is similar. Like, we've just said, we're taking on I Wish I Win this weekend. The bookies certainly are keeping him safe. $4, whatever he is.
Yeah, 5s. Yeah. 20% winning chance.
Yeah. And then you've got, Lady of Camelot and Estriella sort of equal price around that sort of mid-3s, and then, a few around that sort of $10 to $14 mark.
Yeah. Do you reckon we're losing about $1?
I think so.
I think so.
Just
about that?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. In what it was previous years?
Yeah, I think so. And there's been a lot of races like that where it's, you have the favourite might be $2.60, and then the next in line will be sub 4s. But then there'll be another one around the 5 or 6. It's like, well,
give us a chance.
Anyway, rant over.
Moir Stakes is race 6, Group 2. For the fillies, set weights. Amina, $5. Manal, 3s. Now, Amina won fair and square, I thought. Went straight past Manal.
Yeah, she did. I think Manal will run better this time.
Absolutely.
If Amina's not here, it's between Manal and Drifting for mine.
Mm-hmm.
I thought Drifting was like really good last start.
Mate, do you want some stats to back that up?
Yeah, sure.
4 1,100 metre races on the day at Caulfield when she won, and she was the quickest of all of them.
Yeah, really well rated by Blake Shin as well. And she gave all the other fillies weight from memory in that race. Gate 13, dross.
So dog shit.
But, if she comes across, she can find a spot. And look, I think Tommy Sherry's probably not Blake Shin, with all due respect.
No, he's not.
So that could be why you're getting $5.50 for her.
But, hey, 3 tries from Tommy for 2 wins.
True.
On drifting.
True. So, sorry, Tommy. My apologies, legend. My apologies. Do you find it ironic that there's a Tommy Sherry and a Tommy Berry?
Hell you. Oh, so close. Hallelujah. Yeah, I'm team drifting. I want to take the alternative form reference because, as I mentioned with that Amina race, it rated dog shit. It was.
Yeah, I saw that the
bunch finish.
Yeah, I saw that a lot of the dialogue off the back of that race was pretty poor.
Yeah, they must have been listening to me.
They had to have been. So interesting to see who ends up running. But I think I'm leaning towards team drifting. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm keen to take the alternative form reference in that race. Now, one of the races of the weekend, it is one of the races of the spring every single year, the Concorde Stakes, race 7, 1,000 metres, Group 3, set weights, penalties. Your boy Giga Kick is back. He's officially back.
Yeah, it's good. It's good to see him back. Jmac on.
$2.80 though.
$2.80, yeah.
Wow.
60 and a half kilos.
Oof.
1,000 metres where he's... If there's ever going to be a genuine 1,200 metre horse, it's Giga Kick.
Well, he's a 1,400 metre horse.
Yeah.
I would have thought.
He can certainly put these guys to the scissor kick his sire and put him to the sword. I think he can definitely win this first up. However, if you're going to take Giga Kick on this prep, it's going to be first up in 12 months on over 1,000 metres, where he's going to be giving him a sight, right? And there's going to be some handy ones in front of him. And there's also going to be some traffic cones in front of him, man. Have you seen some of the fucking dross in this race? Have you seen some of this dross? Number 6, Bandy's Boy, 200 to 1. La Melody, 150 to 1. And I could keep going. So, like, there's going to be some traffic cones for him. Do you know if I was going to back a roughie in this race, and she's been a friend and a foe of this podcast.
Oh, no.
Number 9, Red Card.
Oh, yuck.
I think if you're going to back a roughie in this race, it's her because she's a 1,000 metre horse. And again, drawn dross, but 56 kilos on her back. I could see James Cummings being like, no, she ain't going to go to an Everest. She's not a Group 1 horse. Let's just get her really fit and well and bright and ready to go and get some black type for her. That wouldn't surprise me. What about my guy Remark, who won this last year for me?
For Team Red. Now owned. Yeah, I don't know. Sure.
Are you having a punt in this race?
Yeah. The ultimate gear change. Worked for Tom Kitten. It's going to work for it's going to finally, I'm finally going to catch this horse. Af Cabin. $8.50. I'll find out at that price, please.
Yeah, it is the ultimate gear change, and he's been trying well.
He has been super. And, we get lulled in by these trials every single time, but Af Cabin's always had the ability. Maybe he's just been an absolute nutcase and he has other things on his mind. He won't have that anymore.
I say this with no disrespect whatsoever to Af Cabin. He might just be a Group 3 horse.
Hey,
but guess what this race is?
It's a Group 3.
It's a Group 3. 4 starts, 2 victories, a second and a third, with nuts on. So with nuts off, I'm also looking Group 1 starts, 5 Group 1 starts for not a single place. Yeah, I couldn't talk you out of that.
Yeah.
Where's Private Eye at? Do you think he needs to win this? I'm saying not even finish top 3. Do you think he needs to win this to get an Everest slot?
Oh, I think that is... No, because I feel like there's always a couple slot holders that are desperate at the end. Real desperate. So I don't think it necessarily comes to that, but like $6 for this horse? Are you kidding me? Where's the 40 to 1 for this horse in this race? 1,000 metres, 35 career starts. He's never won shorter than 1,100. Like, I just cannot see him featuring here because he's not a sublime trialer by any note, but his trials have been dog shit. They've been really
They have
poor.
been dog shit. And I'm starting to hear Joe Pride in the media more often, in the last couple of weeks. And something that he said was really poignant. And it was around the fact that, everyone gets distracted by these new up and coming sprinters, these shining bright light 3-year-olds. And, I think the tried and true are the ones that you need to be concerned about coming into the Everest. And I'm like, why would he be saying something like that? Oh, because he's got 2 tried and trues and no upcoming 3-year-old sprinters.
Sorry, mate. Didn't you fucking put a line through one of those sprinters thinking he was a Cox plate horse? The fuck?
Yeah, it's not a great take from Jack.
Oh my God.
But look,
you know what Jack and Proven Thoroughbreds have in them? Oh, it's not the horse's fault. It's the jockey's fault. Let's punt off Nash and Sammy Clipperton on Think About It.
yeah.
Do you see who's riding Private Eye? Jay Ford. With all due respect, Jay, you're not Nash.
You're not hot Nash. Who is Nash on? I Am Me. Interesting. Shit, okay. Going back to markets. Sorry, drifters. Just give me a second. So she's $10. That means, including her, there's $6 that are $10. 6 horses that are $10 and under in this race.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 2 of them $8 though. I feel like that's all right.
Yeah, still.
Like, I'm happy with the price of our cabin. I thought he'd come up a lot shorter.
You reckon?
Yeah. He's one of those... Punters love him, mate. They really do.
They do.
Like, he will not start that price on the weekend. No way.
Yeah.
Zero chance. And because I reckon he'll start about 6s.
Do you reckon Giga Kick will drift?
I think he'll have a 3 in front of him.
I'm happy to play that.
Private Eye will start double figures. I guarantee that.
Has to. Like, these markers have got to correct themselves.
Yes. Bella Nipotina is finally been respected.
Yeah, she'd usually start at
She's
12s.
second favourite.
She usually started at 12s.
She bloody deserves it.
Yeah, she does.
You're gonna back her? I'm not.
No way in hell. No way in hell. You know what? I think I've only backed her, honestly. Remember, there was a day that I backed her and she won, and it was one of her first runs for the Kirimar stable, and it was like her second ever career win. And I think 4 Moves Ahead won that day as well. We're going back a long time. I think the first time I backed her since then was in the Tatsiara.
Oh, that's right, because you didn't back her when she won that Group 1 at Mooney Valley.
I was on. I think I was on Af Cabin.
No, you're on Paul Laley.
I was on my guy Paul Laley, looking absolutely phenomenal at stud. And you know what? I think, honestly, if he didn't have my backing and confidence every start, he never would have got that Group 1.
Yeah, true.
I am the reason why he's now standing at stud.
Not Benny Mellum. It wasn't his ride. No way.
It was me. It was me putting the positivity out into the airwaves.
Yeah.
So look, he didn't get the job done for me that day. He ran like absolute dog shit. Yeah. But he did the job for me when it counted the most.
Well said. Mm-hmm. So what's that got to do with Bella Nipotina?
What I'm saying is that she doesn't have mine very often. And this is another weekend that she doesn't have any of mine.
Yeah, that's fair. Man, she's got a 62% place strike rate. That is unbelievable.
How many Group 1s is she?
23 she's competed in.
23?
She's won 3. She's been in the Quinella 9 times. Mm-hmm. So, she's placed, come second 6 times, and she's run third twice. Won a Group 2. She also won the Giga Kick last year.
She did.
Where Private Eye, that's where me and Private Eye have seen other people. He should have won that.
He should have won that. He should have won that race.
He should have gone back to back. I'm Team Af Cabin this weekend.
Team Blue.
Yeah.
I've got no issues with that. Mm-hmm. No issues.
All right. Now the Chelmsford 1600 metre Group 2, weight for age. Zardozi is $2.10. I thought she'd be favourite. I didn't think she'd be that tight.
Yeah, that's very tight, isn't it?
But she's how many stayers are in this field, right? Military Mission, Nonconformist, Adelaide River, Just Fine, Athabascan, Francesco Gardi, Poptronic.
You couldn't possibly give me Just Fine with $9.
He was the one I was like, tactically, like Ramwick, he loves Ramwick, and he nearly broke the track record over the mile in a benchmark 94. So I think he's a more mile 2,000 metre horse. I wouldn't be shocked if he won. There is one at double figures that I think can knock off Zardozi, but I'm keen to hear your thoughts first.
Yeah, it's a disgusting race for mine. But, reading the nominations, I was like, well, Zardozi's my bet, but she's come up awfully short, hasn't she? Mm-hmm. But I would like to see her win, so I'm gonna say Zardozi's on top for me. What do you reckon?
Yeah, Zardozi's on top, but I'm having Quinella in this race. One of my favourite bet types. Do you remember when Nonconformist won over a mile at Flemington first up?
He did.
Yeah.
The old boy.
About 30 to 1 he was that day.
He was, yeah.
Knocked everyone except Josh McClellan out of the quaddie. It was, he does have the ability to sprout those wings first up.
He did a tendon, didn't he?
Oh, did he? Okay, there you go. But he's had 3 jump outs and trials down in Melbourne. Harry Coffey is coming to Randwick for 1 ride, and it is on Nonconformist, which I found was fascinating. And you look through this horse. This horse is, he's had nearly a year off, so it would suggest that hopefully he's going okay. But mate, you look back. The last time this horse has been in anything lower than a Group 2 was in the Mornington Cup last year. Like, he's been competing in the tippity top races, and even though he's been like racing in Caulfield Cups behind your guy.
Incentivize.
Yeah, that horse. I think he ran 2nd or 3rd to Incentivize that day.
Ran 2nd by about 10 lengths.
I don't think he's a 2,400 metre horse. I think he's a miler to 2,000 metre horse. I think he's going to run super this weekend. Barrier 4, I think it's just a bit of an ambush by Graham Begg. And he's been known to ambush Sydney before.
He is a very good trainer.
Yeah.
Very, very good trainer. What are your thoughts on Buckaroo?
You can have Buckaroo. I'm not interested in that horse one bit.
Yeah, I just think, if you're taking Zardozi out of, like, if you're taking the Group 1 form, I think you could make a case for Buckaroo. Look, will he have a centre mine? No.
I understand the thinking, but
yeah.
No.
And last prep there was I think when he ran 3rd in the Ranvit, maybe there was a bit of a push for him. In the Tancred, he ran dog shit. Maybe he's looking for more of that sort of mile type race. He's been gelded. Zardozi for me.
Yeah. I think Zardozi is going to be awfully hard to beat, but your Ned same race multis, top 4, nonconformists, that's a nice little play there. Now the Tramway, Group 2, 1,400 metres, set weights and penalties. You can have Kovalika. You can have him.
Oh, I can't believe his entire career's been ruined.
58 kilos. Would he be heading towards a Metropolitan or something? You'd hope so.
Do you know where he's heading? The 5 Diamonds. That's where he would be.
That's true. That's funny. Amelia's Jewel for Annabelle Neesham. And is it Robbie Archibald?
Yep, Rob Archibald.
$2.80. Interesting.
Yeah.
Millie, the one to Philly, are you on side?
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
I am. Yeah. I think right stable, right kickoff point, class will take her a long way. Weighted nicely in this race. Tommy Berry on. I think this is her time to really just come to the fore and be one of those wait for age types.
Sorry, I've just seen something.
What have you seen?
Races that Kovalika is nominated for.
He's nominated for the Melbourne Cup.
Huh? Why was this horse? Why was he taken towards a Golden Eagle? I know 15 or 10 million reasons why, but that is just madness to me. It is utter madness.
Oh, he was ruined.
Oh my God. It's like, what this horse could have been.
Yeah, they ruined him.
Wow.
They ruined him. Oh,
Is that the trainer or is that the ownership,
Hard to say. Oh, I heard Mick Price and Michael Kent Jr. actually changed their minds. R.E. Warmonger. And they're aiming him towards a Golden Eagle now because of the dollars. Despite the fact that evidently he was so obviously going to be a star stayer, what they've decided is they're actually going to try him out, sort of handicap mile races and the Golden Eagle because, I'm joking, by the way, Drifters. Like, that's not the case. He's being aimed at a Caulfield Cup, and rightly so.
Yeah, of course he should be.
Of course he should be, because
Our jaws were on the floor at Eagle Farm that day.
he sustained a gallop for like 800 metres.
Yeah.
3 or 4 wide.
And he'd already run in another derby.
And he won his trial.
Yeah. He's a good horse, mate. He's very good.
Oh, there's another horse in this race who I think could be aimed at those sort of handicap type races. Resumes after running really well throughout the Winter Carnival, and that's number 10, Freedom Rally. I think he's a good horse. Is he Amelia's Jewel? Certainly not. But he gets Craig on, which is interesting. Who's Jmac on Okovalika? Yeah, right, okay.
Yeah, it's a shame, isn't it?
It is. It is. So Freedom Rally to run well, but I just want to see Amelia's Jewel come out and sit sort of midfield and just go bang.
Yeah. Yeah, I tend to agree. I think it's between the likes of, Amelia's Jewel, Freedom Rally. I think you chuck Arctic Glamour into your quaddie as well. Her first up run behind Schwartz in the Missile Stakes was fantastic. She was nowhere to be seen in the autumn, but in the spring she was super. So I think Arctic Glamour's another one. What about a Succulent Chinese Meal with Democracy Manifest?
He had a super return, didn't he?
Yeah.
Super return in the Jolly Star race over 1,200 metres. That's not his go.
No.
I think he can run well. Again, he'll be aimed at those handicap type races.
Yeah.
One of the most well-named horses in the country.
100%.
If not the most well-named.
I think so. And I'm seeing a fascinating jockey booking here. Hot Nash. How many Chinese meals do you reckon Nash would have had over the journey? With a full packet of smokes in his top pocket.
That's what I was thinking. I reckon Nash would be reminiscing, and he'd be sad that these days are no longer a thing, where he could have a succulent Chinese meal, a BYO Chinese meal with, those nice white linen cloths on the table, and he's got a side of, I don't know, some spring rolls, maybe some fortune cookies, some prawn crackers, all the while he's allowed to light up a durry inside, and it's just smoke billowing everywhere. And it's all in the ceiling, and he's got a nice, I reckon he'd be a honey chicken type opera.
Honey chicken.
I reckon fried rice.
I reckon he gets like the beef and black bean. I reckon he gets a spread. He's there with Gay and Adrian, and he eats maybe a spoonful of each.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey guys, you're picking up the bill.
Absolutely. And this is after a day where he's had to sweat, he's had to lose weight, he's won a big handicap race, and he's thought, you know what, I'm just going to put on some kilos tonight. And he's just dug into some succulent Chinese meals while having about 30 cigarettes. Natural Willop.
Still one of the great photos of all time after Kieran McAvoy. I think it was 2,000 winners. And he was in the classic Legend Silks. And then they've got the jockeys after the race there, and there's Nash to the side with a cigarette in his hand.
I love him so much.
It's the best.
I reckon he'd be such a prick as well.
Oh, yeah. Mate, you seen the way he rides his horses? He plays to win, mate.
He plays to win.
He plays to win.
Got so much time for him.
I do. Well, one horse that we kind of forgot to mention in the Chelmsford, Poptronic. Mate, this horse won a Group 1 Fillies and Mares Stakes race at Royal Ascot back in October last year, over 2,400 metres. So she's one that I'm going to have a watch on. Had a mountain of trials. So, but we have seen these stays over a mile do some fantastic things, but yeah, she's one that I've got my eye on this weekend as well. But I'm keen to play this weekend. There's a few I'm keen on.
Yeah, I'm keen to play. I think we're gonna see a lot of these returning horses. Just get a really good idea of where they're at. Can we put a line through them? I think we'll find out after this weekend.
Well, it's officially spring.
It is.
Yeah. Well, God bless us. God bless the podcast. God bless the good people at Ned's, and God bless Counter and the second of Portsea.
The Quinella to end, or Quinellas.